Hello, internet friends. Welcome back to watching the Dark Souls 3 playthrough. This is it. This is Lothric, and this is the Soul of Cinder. Unless I find another reason to upload Dark Souls 3 videos, which I probably will because I am now 40 hours into it on my third playthrough. Isn't that ridiculous? I think my first playthrough was 20 hours. This one was 10. The next one might be 10 as well, because I can't see me going through a playthrough in less than just 10 hours. Which is pretty ridiculous. But anyway, sorry that I didn't do the opening cutscene for this. This wasn't my first battle against him, so the opening cutscene wouldn't happen twice. But I do have the other cutscene for you guys to watch. So let's talk about Lothric and Lorien, the Elder Prince. So most of the battle is actually attacking Lorien, which is interesting because this is supposed to be the battle against Prince Lothric, which it kind of is in a way. Lorien is pretty much his puppet, and Lothric is kind of a puppet master a little bit. Lothric is just kind of this evil villain, but he's not a villain. No, I don't think anybody in this game really is an ultimate villain or an ultimate hero. You can really pick which side you think is right and which side you think is wrong. But in this situation, for us trying to stay alive, Lothric is kind of chilling up at the top of his tower, petting his little pet cat, and his buddy Lorien over here is doing the dirty work for him. But let's go ahead and listen to this cutscene, because it's a good one.
Dear brother, I'm on my way. My brother, unyielding sword of Lothric's prince. Rise if you would, for that is our curse.
Now, I think that was an absolutely beautiful and poetic scene because it makes you think, who's really the victim? Are we the victim, or are these kings the victim? That's sort of what I thought about, because there's this, Lothric does not want the Age of Fire to continue. He doesn't care for it. It could end, it could begin again. It's not something that really bothers him. But the kings and the gods or whatever, at least Gwyn, we know for sure, was terrified of the Age of Dark, the Age of Man rising up and starting, and he wanted to halt the natural course of the world and make sure the fire was constantly rekindled so the Age of Man could never happen. So the gods are terrified of us. And I was talking to a friend earlier, and it kind of reminds me of the Sodom and Gomorrah story in the Bible, where, wait, no, was that Sodom and Gomorrah? No, it was, oh, I'm sorry, that was a completely different story. The Tower of Babel. I'm going to have to go re-message him, because that's really confusing, to say Sodom and Gomorrah, because it's a completely different thing. But, it reminds me of the Tower of Babel, where if all humanity gets together and wants to accomplish something, they will do it. They will make a tower big enough to reach heaven if humanity wants to. And God was, at least in my opinion, afraid of this and made sure to separate the people so that they could not accomplish these goals that only a god should be able to accomplish, which we're pretty much on our way there right now. And so yeah, I feel like the kings and gods of Dark Souls were very much afraid of us and what us pygmies, small, weak creatures, were able to accomplish, and that we were meant for greatness. And so I feel like in that situation, the kings and the lords in this game, in this series, might actually be the victims. But you can decide which side you think is the better side. You know, the lords and the kings are, you know, seen as holy and perfection, and they're, you know, deities, and, you know, you might think, you know, we have to keep our, you know, religion, you know, untainted. You know, we gotta keep these gods alive so we have something to praise, something to believe in, so that we have these covenants. Or you could be like me and be like, you know, fuck oppression. If we need to kill these gods in order to survive, then we're gonna do it. And, you know, so it's really cool how there's no set hero, there's no set villain, there's no set victim, or, you know, whatever. It's just pretty much what you want it to be. So the Soul of Cinder is really cool, and I talked about before how he's sort of a nostalgia boss. He's everything you've ever wanted in a boss fight, all wrapped up into one. You've got this nice, huge arena. We've got a dude who is just straight up warfare, armor, soldier, giant sword, fucking warrior. He's got fire, and he's got poison, and he's got magic, and he's got, you know, weapon skills and weapon arts, and, you know, AoE effects, and through his second, you know, health bar, pretty much becomes Lord Gwyn himself, which was, I think, unanimously one of Dark Souls 3 players' favorite boss. And he was the Lord of Sunlight. He was pretty much the king of all kings in this world. And so yeah, for him to take on that form, a lot of people got excited to the point where they died because they were, oh my god, it's Lord Gwyn! I wish I could feel that way, but I don't think I will ever get that far in the original Dark Souls to get that nostalgic feeling of, oh my god, we've come full circle back to Lord Gwyn and I'm fighting him again, and all this, like, you know, crying and yes, oh my god, this is so cool. You know, I don't think I'll ever really get that far in Dark Souls 1 or 2. But yeah, that is the death of the Soul of Cinder, which, you know, as you should know, is, oh, this is the Helm of Avarice, by the way. I forget how you're supposed to get it. I'm gonna have to look that up again. I don't think I'd ever wear it. I mean, it's silly and it's fun and it's cool, and my girlfriend got a laugh out of it when she saw it. What was I gonna say? I was talking about the Lord of Cinder. Oh, it's an amalgamation of every single soul that lit the first flame. Now, right here, I saw a summon sign. I didn't understand why the summon sign was there, so I didn't hit it. The second time I did, the second time it summons your Firekeeper. I forget exactly what happens. I don't remember if you kill her or not. But the third ending, where you become the next Lord of Cinder, I still can't figure out how to get that ending. I'm going to have to look it up. Dear Christ, of course I get a freaking text message in the middle of this. Courage the Cowardly Dog, by the way. But anyway, I think I'm going to try to find a way to sneak in some more Dark Souls 3 videos. This is my favorite game. Be prepared for the new Ashes DLC. I'll see you guys later.